See how that works out. But anyway, we will be heading into picks and bans between Reason Gaming and Unicorns of Love. What do these guys have to offer? Well, we'll see in a second. So what are we expecting from the bans? Are there any players here that really warrant banning champions out specifically against them?
That is a good question. That's a very good question. It's going to be Brom and Syndra. Of course, Power of Evil. Syndra.
Oh, yeah, well, that's an easy one.
That's the easiest one.
Yeah, we actually saw one of the teams not ban Syndra against Power of Evil, and then he went huge and carried the game.
H2K.
It was, yeah.
Because we said Ninjas in Pyjamas are going to ban that out because it carried them through DreamHack.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that did happen. Ninjas in Pyjamas played against them. Then it was H2K, and then H2K must have seen them lose against Ninjas in Pyjamas, or rather, see Ninjas in Pyjamas lose against Unicorns of Love, and it's like, oh, they banned Syndra. I wonder why they're doing that, and then didn't properly do their research. I think today, if they meet them again, then they won't make the same mistake. Gragas, Irelia, and then Kassadin, two very common ban-outs to see in the current meta.
Yeah, indeed. All of them are pretty synonymous with that ban champions area of the screen. Now, this may lead to a Maokai pick because Gragas is now not available. It's one of the kind of playoff situations, and you're in a tricky situation here on red side. There's a couple of things that you may want to ban, and I was going to say Lucian could be one, Maokai could be another if you really fear it from... actually, it's not Visitatsi that's playing in the top lane, unless it's a Smurf, which is fairly common. The other one I was going to mention is Morgana from Hylisang, or Thresh.
Yeah, you were actually mentioning last time we casted on the 4th day that Morgana is like one of his best champions, if not one of the best champions, along with Thresh and Leona. And that will be locked in. That will be their first pickup from the team's Unicorns of Love, which is also interesting that Visitatsi is not playing with them because he was actually the player who brought out the Maokai. So maybe that's a ban that they don't need to bring up against them. We don't know.
Yeah, it's. I'm wondering whether it's a Smurf because we've had that a couple of times that it's actually the player, but they're playing on a different.
Yeah, and we haven't heard anything from the team, so you'd have to assume it's a Smurf.
Yeah, indeed. I'm going to assume it's a Smurf for now, and hopefully maybe we can get some confirmation of that. But I mean, there's a couple of pretty strong pickups here if they wanted it. There's a couple of champions available. Ziggs is typically picked mid laner, Orianna as well if they wanted to go for that. We've seen a lot of teams high prioritize on both of those champions, so wouldn't be too surprised, but...
Well, they are looking towards... Well, they were looking towards a Lulu, but now they swap up to Lee Sin and swap up to the Tristana as well. So we have seen some Tristana play. People still saying it's more of a situational pick than something you would first pick every single time, but they definitely feel that's the pick that they want to go for this game. And then Lee Sin is still seen to be one of the strongest junglers at the moment. Seen a slight fall off in the holy trinity of junglers, but Lee Sin still remaining strong.
Yeah, always is going to have good early trading potential. Always is going to kind of... Well, I don't want to say rule the jungle in the early game because he's having a little bit tougher a time now that a lot of the itemization has changed in the jungle. So it's one of those interesting things where he's still going to be strong until they really do a lot to him. But at the same time, he's very balanced because it's very easy to make a mistake on Lee Sin, misread a situation, and die for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a look at the next two picks. 10 seconds remaining. Unicorns of Love hovering over the Rammus. They have played this before, so it wouldn't be completely out of the blue. And they are hovering over the Jinx as well, which has, again, seen some play. We saw it in the LCS just yesterday from NALCS, a couple times actually being played, and will be locked in, along with the Elise, again, one of the top junglers at the moment. So, Elise and Jinx for Unicorns of Love. Yeah,
I was kind of anticipating the swap there. Even though Dan has played Rammus, I kind of feel like at that situation, Dan is more likely to pick Javan or Elise.
Yeah.
Like, if Lee Sin's not available for him, that tends to be what he defaults to. Jinx is a very interesting kind of pick against Tristana. She has a little bit more laning presence than Tristana does in the very kind of the laning phase before Tristana gets a lot of that scaling. And Jinx, with a couple of kills, will scale as well as a Tristana will push as well. The only kind of situation you end up in is in the later game, Tristana's obviously going to have the range, and that attack stim is going to kick in a lot faster than Jinx's, because Jinx, you have to build it up. Tristana's you just hit Q, and then, look, I've got all this like 90% attack speed
There's
increase.
the steroid.
Yeah, and there you go. Now, typically, I saw her hover over Leona there for a second. Typically, Leona into Jinx is the lane that you want to pick, because Jinx really struggles when she's not paired with Leona. The thing is, the Black Shield does such a good job at mitigating Leona's CC.
So we do have, well, one of the picks for the bottom lane of Reason will be the Tristana you just mentioned, but they have also locked in the Orianna for the mid lane. We see that all the time against Ziggs, so I wouldn't be surprised we maybe saw that one come out. Oh, look at that from either side. And also the Shyvana as well. Has been seeing less play overall, but has still been seen a lot in the top lane.
Yeah, it has been seen a fair amount, and if that Mundo gets locked in, we have seen Mundo.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go back to Mundo and Shyvana lanes.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the year, and that was not a nice point. Okay, so we're getting confirmation that it actually is a sub. So I guess obviously the Flaxish is coming in, and Vizichati wasn't available, or something like that. Hopefully, Vizichati's all well and
He's
still
all right,
part of the
yeah.
roster, because he has done a very good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe he should be playing tomorrow. It's just a 1 day, so we had confirmation of that as
It's
well.
unfortunate this is only 1 day for playoffs.
Yeah. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's not good. But
Well,
yeah,
he'll be back tomorrow just to be like, oh, hey, guys. Did not work out.
how did it go?
How did they go without me? But they locked in the Jax and they locked in the Ziggs. That's a mid lane we've seen all the time. Jax, however, is something we still see. Again, it's not something we see every single game anymore. We did see some slight nerfs in 4.10. And then, of course, the Shyvana as well.
It's really good against Shyvana. It's, I mean, for the early game, sometimes you can get harassed at a little bit. As long as you don't drop too far behind, you're always going to scale better than Shyvana will. And the final pick there, I believe, was the Leona. It actually got locked in, which is kind of interesting because it says that we're just going to try and bait out your Black Shield, and from that, then try and kill you. Because that's the thing with Morgana support is, although Morgana is very good against Leona, once the Black Shield is gone, you're no longer very good at all. And it's something that a lot of the LCS commentators talked about a lot, is that lane is just all about baiting out the shield.
Yeah.
And once you baited out the shield, then you engage. And from there, Jinx can't escape. She has no escape in her kit. It's just, obviously, if a Dark Binding lands on an opponent, you get the Flame Chompers, Zap as well. There's a lot of crowd control on Unicorns of Love as well. It's a very tricky lane to play against Jinx when you've got both Morgana and Leona in that lane.
So what are we looking for compositions here? Have they really picked anything like a wombo combo? Because we're looking at the team of Reason. They've got some Engage. They've got the Lee Sin. You've got the ball delivery system as well with the Shyvana and the Orianna, and some decent front line for Makler if he needs it, and then some Engage. So they kind of just have a pretty strong team fight.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Reason team fight here, is that even if they fall behind, in the late game, one team fight can just easily set them up. One Shyvana ultimate into a shockwave, Tristana will clean up. That's kind of the be-all, end-all if you get past 35 minutes, even if you're a little bit behind. 40 minutes, 50 minutes, this is a game-winning team fight if it happens. So look for that to come out of Reason. That's not to say that they can't win in the early game. They still have good earlier game picks. You look at a Lee Sin, you look at a Shyvana. Even Leona can help a lane like a Tristana snowball to a point where you're winning in 20, 25 minutes if you're getting the kills in lane. But the late game for them is going to be really good. But on the same side, Unicorns of Love, they're running a little bit more of a pick composition, kind of pick and siege. However, it's going to be a little less reliable if they're not ahead. If they're behind, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to get back into it. But they have a Jax, they have a Jinx. Ziggs will scale very well as well. So this game could go quite late if there's no kills in the laning phase.
Yeah, and they have some pretty good wave clear as well. You look at the Ziggs who will just wave clear for days, and then the Morgana Tormented Soil, and then the Jax should be like in the front line to like at least stay in range of the turret. So, Unicorns of Love, if they fall behind, they still have like a fallback plan, a fail-safe. So they should, not be completely out of it. I'm interested in Unicorns of Love's lineup, though, because I say usually, but in the last couple of days and the last couple of tournaments we've seen them, there's usually one pick which is a little bit odd. And this is like a normal lineup, like a quote-unquote meta lineup. So how are they going to do on like an even playing field?
It's interesting because they've brought in Flaxish, so I wonder whether they've kind of strayed away from the unorthodox picks just because they haven't had a chance to practice them. That's one of those things, is you have to be very comfortable if you bring in a new champion that maybe isn't played too much. And you can see that Unicorns of Love are just playing very standard here.
Yeah, we have one variable in the form of our top lane, and we don't need two.
Yeah.
And Unicorns of Love just playing it safe. You have to wonder, is that their safe, though? Is there safe strategy going with something that's a little bit unorthodox just to put their opponents off their feet, keep them on their toes? We
That's
don't know.
a good question, and that's something we'll have to kind of discover throughout this best of 3. Again, it is a best of 3, so Unicorns of Love, although they finished top in their group, that was all best of 1s. It's a different ball game here with the best of 3. We'll see how they can cope against a very formidable Reason team as well. But while we are in, I believe, the loading screen, or soon to be in the loading screen, make sure you head over to FACEIT.com because you sign up for the platform because it's awesome and you can win prizes just by playing League of Legends. How cool is that?
Yeah, you can play the game and you win prizes, you gain points, and then you can spend those points on goodies in the store. So you really have nothing to lose. Just head over there right now before we get into game. You have plenty of time, and then you can watch the match. And then, if you have 2 monitors, then you can also be looking at all the fun stuff on FACEIT. And for a moment, we disappeared.
It's okay. I was confident the glitch in the Matrix was only for a second, but nobody at home could see that. So
okay, well that's fine.
I
We've
think
just
it's
gone
right.
insane.
I think that was just us. Now we're just going crazy. But it's even easier now than it's ever been to play on FACEIT. I mean, it was pretty easy before, but now that they've implemented the tournament code that is a very overlooked part of the client that is built in. So when you hit like join custom game, there's actually like a tournament code section that you never click on.
Yeah, because it's always join game or create game, and it's just like no one has ever seen that.
It was only ever used on ESL. Yeah, was the thing. So yeah, it looks like we have a little bit of a delay before we get into the game, but we will be in game pretty shortly. So you got even more time to sign up for the FACEIT platform because there's some pretty cool things. I think it's like keyboards, mouses. I think
the plural of mouse.
I haven't checked up recently, but I wonder whether anyone's won the car yet. Because last time we were casting, all the way back in, I think it was January, we were talking about how FACEIT, if you get enough points from playing, there's actually, I believe it's a Fiat 500.
Yeah, I think it's 5 million points. It's something up there.
We ran the calculations.
We did the math, guys.
I mean, it could have been possible by now.
Yeah. It's very possible, yeah. Because, if you look at the other prizes, I think the headset's like 40,000. So it's kind of like that ballpark. So then when you look at the car, which is 5 million, it's out there. But if you were playing every day and won all these tournaments every single day...
It sounds a lot like, Tesco club cards when it's like £100 is like 1
Oh, you spent £40?
Yeah.
Here's 1 pence.
Exactly. But it's not like that because I remember that like a win is a good couple of 100 points.
Yeah.
So, it's not like, well, I got to play 40 million games to get a car.
Yeah.
Because nobody could do that.
Over time, give it 10 years. And it's just hey, I've saved up enough points.
Could you do 40 million games in 10 years?
40 million? What, of League of Legends?
Yeah.
Probably not. Depends if you just join the game, play 2 minutes, quit out, join again. What's your definition of a full game? Because if it's a 40-minute game of Summer's Rift, then I don't know.
That means you got to have somebody else there to play 40 million games that is just quitting out of games and isn't going to get a car. It's not good.
No, it isn't. Who would get the car out of that scenario? I guess the guy, Or they could share. One guy would be in the passenger seat.
There we go.
Oh,
we are
37 seconds in game. Hello.
Luckily, we are there before any of the action has started. So, we are on to Summoner's Rift.
We are indeed. So, Unicorns of Love on the blue side. It'll be Reason Gaming on the purple. Libic just showing who's boss between these supports at the moment, just getting in Hannah Sang's face. But I don't think we're going to see too much aggression. Everyone has formed the lines of scrimmage and will just be poking away their counterpart. Libic actually just walks straight into Unicorns of Love's jungle, places down the ward. Hannah Sang will be like, well, all I can do really is auto-attack you. And at least did net some gold out of that with his Spell Thief's Edge. Top lane, they will be performing a very strange stutter dance. It's a mating ritual.
It's courtship.
It is.
Jax is saying, later in this game, I'm going to hit you with this, and you're going to die. That's essentially what he's saying. But for now, you're Shyvana, so I'll let you live, because I'll probably die if I try and 1v1 you.
I really hope that was the Rose Ward. It was just placed out in front of Jack. He was like, oh, maybe I don't want to kill you. Power of Evil in the mid lane, sporting the Snow Day Zig skin. Pretty good. Going to be Take Fun down there as well, and he was actually the only player from Reason to be playing in the tournament recently in Tenerife, and the rest of the team were subs, and actually did very well. They got to one of the later stages of the tournament. Take Fun, still with his mouse tag, will be trying his best to sit in the mid lane, but it's a lane we've seen be fairly neutral. It's a lane we've seen large goal totals come out of because neither player really wants to try and kill the other, or rather, they have very good ways to get out of dodge.
So down in this bottom lane, something that I'm noticing already, and it's fairly common against Leona lanes, especially with Jinx, she swaps over to the rocket launcher for the extra range and puts down harassment to begin the lane, tries to burn through the health potions of Leona so that it makes it more difficult for her to engage later because Leona will not want to engage on low health. So that's a very obvious thing to do in this lane. You see they hit level 2 first because of it, and now they're going to chase off the Reason bot lane.
So already getting that upper hand into the early game, which is not good news for Limit, but however, mid lane, Power of Evil were just saying, maybe they probably won't be killing each other, but level 2, he managed to get that one first over Take Fun. Well, they would just take him down. That's very rare to see just with no jungle intervention, the laner just killed their opponent.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was kind of watching the health bars, thinking that maybe they were just trading. I was like, that's some heavy trade.
Yeah, he's like, nah, he's going to be fine, but bot lane maybe not fine. Vardags is getting chunked down. The Q lands from the jungler of Lee Sin, and we'll get the execute. The resonating strike comes out.
Yeah, great time gank out there, but there was a lot of damage before that. I don't even know whether it was all that necessary to be ganking because, top lane, there's another gank.
Yeah, and Shyvana, can she get out of this situation? Dan was closed in from behind, tries to get the cocoon. They have enough damage regardless. Dan will be one tanking it, repels out of aggro range, and Flashes will be chiming in and picking up the kill.
So if we take stock for a second here, it's 2-for-1 overall in favor of the Unicorns of Love. They actually got picks in the lanes I kind of wasn't expecting them to, and got killed in the lane that I was expecting to do okay. So that's a little bit surprising a start here, but I mean, from there, what have they picked up? So Fiendish Codex onto Ziggs, and Jax is going to pick up some extra items. So once Jax has got that kill in lane, it actually becomes pretty difficult for Shyvana to keep up. So that's something to watch out for in that top lane. Now that Jax has extra damage, it really is now on Shyvana to get a little bit of tankiness here, but bottom lane and engage.
They will engage once again, this time onto Hyla Sang. Libic trying to get in range for the Shield of Daybreak, but will just take some more auto-attack harassment in return. Actually came behind in that trade. So if you don't win in the first couple seconds, then you will always come behind, and that Dark Binding right through the minion line. Yeah,
that's one thing I kind of have always seen from Hyla Sang. The Dark Binding seem to always land, even when they shouldn't. Power of Evil really taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, a lot of punishment from Take Fun. Did put the Command Protect on himself as well, so mitigated a lot of that damage. And how do you pronounce that name? Zayu.
I'm not too sure. Zayu.
Listen, we'll be going back to base. Try the attempt at top lane. Counter-Strike will be used. Now he engages onto Jokies. And will be taking quite a lot of damage. Is that Jokies, just with a Y on the end?
I think it is Jokies, who is another player that we've played, well, we've seen a lot in Challenger, but mid lane, I believe the gank is coming in.
It is, but, however, Ziggs is on very low HP. That cocoon right through the minions, and we'll get the Venomous Bite. That's a bad time to pause. Hey guys, I'm getting ganked. / pause. That's, of course, not what happened, but...
That was...
unfortunate timing.
Yeah, unfortunate timing, I think.
I can hear the heartbeat in my head as well, because when you use Venomous Bite, you have like the heartbeat, and we're locked in the sound.
We're locked in the heartbeat.
So we can hear the thump of Take Fun's heart as he's getting ganked right now. Will he be able to survive? Yes, he will, because Zayu has come back from his tower and does not decide to go in, which is probably wise.
I thought I could still hear the heartbeat for a second then, and thought we had a glitch where we'd hear it for the rest of the game.
That would be
that would have
terrible.
Been bad. That would have been soul destroying.
But that didn't happen. 2-1 so far. Unicorns of Love have a pretty solid advantage of around 600 gold. No big objectives has been started off yet. It's just all been in the lanes, top, mid, and bottom. And Tristana, no, was deciding to go back to base. But Flaxus in the top lane, still just trading off against Shyvana. And, you know, despite that early kill and how he's been aggressing onto her, actually only equal in farm.
Oh, watch out for Makler here.
Hella sign. Yeah, jumps away. Dark Binding did not connect. And even if it did, Makler would have carried on going, because Rocket Jump is a very funky ability. We do see Take Fun flashing up red in the mid lane. Gotta be careful Power of Evil did just use his ultimate. However, Zayu is aggressing onto Dan. Great repel will get him out of range of the Sonic Wave. Flashes forward into the Tempest. Can he get the last auto attack? He will surely die for his troubles. He jumps forward onto the wall. Dan slaps him in the face, puts him down.
Man, Dan just getting away with his life on that. That was really well played. The repel knew all he was waiting for was that next Sonic Wave. Repels to dodge it, makes sure he saves the flash as Lee Sin moves in for the Tempest. And really just a bit of an outplay there by Dan. Knew that he had Ziggs coming as well.
And that was basically just a skill trade right there. And Unicorns of Love saying we don't need gimmicks to be strong in a straight-up match. And bot lane, Macro and Libic seem to be doing the best out of all of their other lanes. Seem to be kind of crumbling on their own, of their own accord. Alisang just still being aggressive though. He is the support you would want for any season in Summoner's Rift. Makla jumps off to the side. Will be dodging another Dark Binding. So many of these initiation abilities from the supports just missing by a hair's breadth.
I don't know whether Libic even wanted to go in on that, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of damage still on the side of Unicorns of Love, but Tristana does have a pickaxe, but they're going to go in.
There's the Black Shield. Follows through with the Binding, but Makla will just jump forwards, get the reset. Will jump now onto Vardax. Does he have enough down to take down Makla? Has been exhausted, and will juke into the bush, cuts the vision. Libic will get the second kill.
That was a much more favorable engage. And actually, Zayu looked to go in the middle lane, but that was a much more favorable engage. It was in a position where Unicorns of Love for the beginning had a little bit of creep aggro there as well. So any added damage on top of the damage that Tristana already had with that pickaxe is a very good thing there for a reason. And of course, now they got an extra kill onto Tristana. Another assist is going to allow her to scale pretty well. Zayu and Takefun are very low here, so really can't look to contest any jungle invades unless Makla roams.
Oh, the bot lane has come up and there's no bot lane to contest. Takefun takes so much damage, jumps out of the way. Makla will also survive, and Power of Evil may be taken out here. Libic is chasing after. Does he have the ability to get in range? Alisang over the wall, lands the dog binding after the flash, lands a Q in return. Power of Evil surely should be able to roll this up, but jumps away. He actually didn't realize the satchel charge was in the wrong place. They should be able to pick up this kill, and he will be jumping over the wall onto the golems, gets away, but the golem slaps him and takes him out. 5 and 4. We saw some action in the top lane as well, I believe.
No, it was actually a roam down from Jax. Jax picked off Makla in the lower side jungle, so he ran from top lane all the way down the fight, and I actually wasn't following him through the jungle either, but you can see he's finished off a Bilgewater Cutlass from that kill, and now Shyvana has to back. There is no way she can stay in this lane, which means she either goes the damage route and gets Bilgewater and tries to catch up, or goes tanky here and tries to stay alive in the lane, and that's exactly what she's going to do. I think that's a much smarter choice here, because Shyvana is already behind.
That was really unfortunate from Power of Evil. He was like, I'll place down this satchel charge to keep you in place, then forgot about it, and then activated on its own and bounced him away. That was almost terrible.
I think he thought it was going to explode while Lee Sin was still on it, but he didn't manually detonate, as you were saying, and really if he had, that would have been a certain kill. I'm not sure why he didn't.
Yeah, probably just forgot about it, honestly. There
I
was
would
so
be
much
surprised.
happening.
It does tick down quite loudly.
Yeah, there
and
is.
It's only a couple of seconds on the actual fuse timer on it.
Well, we'll ask him after the game and see what happened. But Libic and Makla now in the bot lane. They did pick up some kills in those few earlier scraps. So again, they're still the only lane that is really doing the best at the moment after that small fight in the bottom jungle. Now Zayu is heading into this bush. The last minion has been killed, but the call out has come down. But there is a ward there, so we won't be able to move up into that one. However, Dan is prowling through the brushes into this bot lane. Did think about going into that tri-bush, but now Zayu comes off to the side. Alisang has been locked up. There's the Solar Flare, gets that kill. That'll be going on to Lee Sin. Makla now jumps into the fight. Buster shot throws Vardax and Dan back to the bottom tower.
Oh man, and if there's one lane you want snowballing and to keep it snowballing, it's this bottom lane. I said it in Champion Select. Even if they're behind, this is where their potency is going to be in the late game. The combination of Shockwave after the ball delivery into Tristana cleaning up, and Tristana now at 2-1 and 3, BF sword completed with this dragon, should just about, will be a little bit away still, but after a little bit more farming, will have that Infinity Edge completed and is a long way ahead of Vardax right now.
So Reason...
I was going to say, all he's got is Berserker Screeves and 2 Dorans.
And after that bot lane skirmish, Reason Gaming convert that into a dragon. And Tristana is just pulling further and further ahead. A full 1,000 gold over the counterpart of Jinx. Only 2 CS ahead, but of course those 2 kills, 3 assists, and the Dragon on top of that means he's sitting pretty on 4,000 gold. Halasang just taking that damage from Makla as well on his way to that Infinity Edge.
They haven't really got Jinx in the position to chain her kills yet, which is what she needs. This could help.
Yeah, Makla just get locked up in place, but was still able to use the rocket jump back to his ally of Libic, and will be safe.
Man, rocket jump, such a good escape utility.
Is very, very strong. So, Ward comes forward, and that's kind of it. So everyone's gone back to base and picked up their first couple items. In the bot lane, of course, we've already mentioned that Makla is looking towards the Infinity Edge. Both of the supports have picked up their boots, but in the jungle, Dan has been caught out. Zayu will be following up. Dragon's Rage to the face, right into the wall, and finishes him off with an auto attack.
Yeah, and Dan's building the Spectral Wraith build on Elise, which means for these earlier levels, until she gets 2 or 3 items, is pretty squishy, which is not all that usual on Elise before the patch. Obviously, now it's a much more common build. So against Elise in, if you find him in a situation like that where he's already got a couple of kills to his name, you're going to die pretty quickly.
Yeah, so we'll see how this works out. 3, 2, and 1. Got that Spirit of the Elder Lizard, adding some more punch to those early ganks. And as the Tormented Soil onto Libic, we'll be getting some more auto attacks. And that tower is actually very low. I'm sure he could have just walked up to that and just auto attacked it. But they will be keeping it up for now. If they can deny any CS to Makla, the more the better. Flaxish, we haven't actually spoken about him sitting in that top lane. Has just been farming away and has now gained a significant gold lead and an item advantage over Jokies in the top lane. 4,600 gold to 3,500 is quite a big difference.
It is quite a big difference, but bot lane, another engage.
Libic has been kept in place by those Flame Chompers. Makla now comes forwards and can't quite get in range, so we'll be finishing off the rest of the minions.
That's the Solar Flare now used, however, in that bottom lane. They still have all 4 summoners on the side of Reason Gaming and on the side of Unicorns of Love, so I'm expecting another engage fairly shortly. But you can see how Reason really want to hold that tower. They're now shoving, using Tristana's explosive shot very well to shove into the Unicorns of Love tower, and they are going to put a lot of pressure and a lot of damage down on that, but Makla might be caught.
He gets caught by the Dark Binding, but they don't currently have the vision, and Cocoon will give that to them. The Venomous, or the Explosive Spider, the Volatile Spider link, there we go, get there eventually. Good circle around onto the back of Makla. Now Lee Sin comes into the bottom bush, will get the Sweeper onto the bottom bush as well. There's the Cork right onto Libic, but that didn't actually reveal Zayu's location. So you may still be able to go for this dive if they want it, unless Vardag's backs all the way off, which he will be doing, and Zayu will come in and finish off this tower. Yeah,
tower is going to go down. That was pretty well worked there by Reason. They knew that with Zayu there was no way they wanted to trade. And that's an easy tower for them. However, there are a couple of low health towers in favor of Unicorns of Love. If they can get onto them, that would be a good sign. Dan went aggressive in the middle lane, but couldn't really convert it. Rome has come out, however, from the bottom lane.
Yeah, they're taking that turret, and they don't want to push any further, so where's the next logical option to go to? Let's move ourselves into the mid lane, and with Take Fun going back to base, Makla's quite happy to mop up this farm and soak that one up. So that will be Zayu as well. He's going to be around the mid lane, just in case they want to go for this dive. Hyla Sign and Power of Evil are sitting here. It might be a risky dive if they go for it, but they're posturing around the bottom side near that Wraith camp. Now, Hyla Sang has been caught out by Libic. Will get the stun from the Solar Flare. Hyla Sang finally with the Black Shield. Mega Inferno Bomb comes across. Maybe enough damage to finish off Zayu. The Ignite will definitely secure the kill. Makla now comes in with a Rocket Jump. Can he get the last couple auto attacks? Did pop the Rapid Fire. Flashes out of the way of the Dark Binding. Hyla Sang forcing objectives. Fardags. Super Mega Death Rocket out of nowhere.
I was going to say, Makla kept Zayu alive with the Summoner heal there, but didn't see Vardags down in the bottom side of the map. And actually Flaxish with the rotation as well is going to head into the mid lane and going to set them up for the turret once they've denied a couple more creeps.
Yeah, Hyla Sang with the last auto attack. Joki's in the top lane, knew that Jax was in the mid lane, and well, I'll be taking your top outer turret, thank you very much, and we'll be heading back to base.
That's something Flaxish has actually done pretty well here, especially considering how he's a substitute, is his movements around the map have been very team-oriented. And it's something that, you know, a lot of top laners are a little bit reluctant to do without their teleport, because they spend so much time out of lane. But Flaxish, every time he's moved, he's made it worth it. He got a kill the first time and a tower the second time. So it's really worked out for him and is a little bit different to see from a lot of standard top laners, and I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, also something different to see from Unicorns of Love in general, because Vizixatu will be very happy just to sit in top lane and farm his way through, and does very well. We saw the Maokai play against Cavalchard. He entered the game like 1-7, 0-7, so he did very well in his lane, but he didn't help out the team very much until later on to the game and helped them by virtue of shutting down his lane opponent. Whereas Flaxish has been quite aggressive in getting to these fights. So, as you said, nice to see from the top lane. Definitely a different style which works. It's just a different style of play, which does result in more fights. There's a shockwave, but they will be chasing after Hylasang as well. Goodbye, Dan. You will be dropping down 6 feet under. Makla follows up. There's the double kill now for Take Fun. 2 quick pickups, and the Dragon will be following for Reason.
And it was well set up by Reason. They had the wards all around the jungle. They knew exactly what they were doing. Dragon was 2 up, so it's an easy pickup for Reason, an easy Dragon, and that's actually going to extend their gold lead. It's the first time we're going to see a team have somewhat of a significant gold lead. Look for the Super Mega Death Rocket, but read like a book there from Reason.
That was actually really intelligent. They were like, he's probably going to zap. They just all went underneath the zap, so he didn't get the vision because it didn't tag anyone. And then Super Mega Death Rock's like, you're probably going to throw that at the same place. And then they all went underneath the Dragon. That was smooth from Reason. So 3 towers to 2. They did manage to pick up a tower in the background, but those 2 Dragons from Reason Gaming are keeping the goal totals relatively even. They are slightly ahead now, but honestly, nothing to write home about at 18 minutes into the game.
Makla is actually sitting on 2,000 gold right now, so even though the items look fairly close out of Vardags and Makla, it's all because it's in money, and it hasn't been converted. But now Tristan is heading back. Could be probably level 2 boots plus kind of Zeal items for that second item. There we go. Level 2 boots and Zeal.
Cool.
It's almost like it's a really easy call to make. 2v1 in the top.
Oh, Joki's with the Dragon's Descent, and can Flaxish come out with a kill in return? The answer is going to be no, but he flashes forwards to get the last hit. Flaxish with the, okay, I'll flash over the wall and get away from you. Libic trying to get in range. Flaxish is quite slow. Oh, wrecked, son.
Oh, man.
Will he get away? No, Ignite.
You could see that Flaxish was reading the situation like he's going to Zenith Blade me, so I need to dodge. And his dodging was actually meaning that ever so slightly Leona was catching up with him and just hits the Ignite. Try dodging that.
So perfect. It was like, I run away, I'll block the Shield of Daybreak with my Counter Strike. I'll make sure when I get stunned, I'll Leap Strike away. But Zayu in the mid lane catches out Dan. And
didn't really
comedy gold.
Wow. Tells you the level these players are at. Is that Libic read exactly what Flaxish was doing and was like, no.
Nope. Ignite.
You've already burned your flash. I'll just make sure you die from that. But, you know, that's the level we're at right now. And you can see it here, not only through the play, but obviously through some of the farming that's led to items. Rabadon's Death Cap has been completed from Ziggs. He's a little bit ahead of Orianna in that middle lane in the farm, but Orianna, of course, does have that extra kill. However, hasn't finished that Rabadon's and has had extra Dragon Gold. Where has it gone to? Ah, the Athenes. It's a little bit more expensive than the Morellonomicon, so I guess that's where some of that has indeed gone.
Yeah, there's only 300 gold between these mid laners, so it's not the biggest difference in the world. Both of them will be opting towards their Sorcerer's Boots as well, and we'll be able to go for those home guards if they wanted to, because that has been changed. We are currently playing on live. Unicorns of Love, Hylasang Vardice pushed up to their second bottom inner turret. Makla and Libic are pushing up fairly aggressively, but with Zayu in the jungle, they can afford to do that. Dan is also around the area, and the Mega Inferno Bomb. Power of Evil can be sort of in all the lanes at the same time, as he just moves towards it. Whereas the Mega Inferno Bomb will be getting some damage out. But will they go for this gank, or will they just carry on farming? It looks like what's on the agenda is to take up those double golems, and they will carry on pushing. Flaxus in the top lane, just recalling as well. It's all about this bottom lane. There's a zap, so they now know what Lee Sin's doing, and they will carry on pushing. But Flaxus heading back to base may mean that he'll head into the bot lane if there's an engagement. There's the Dark Binding and the zap as well into Lee Sin. He will jump back to that ward. It's all just posturing at the moment.
Yeah, all puffing out your chest.
Yeah.
You know, looking intimidating. Ward clearing, not very intimidating, but you don't really want to interrupt when that's happening. Now, Libic is actually surprisingly tanky right now. Has a Glacial Shroud alongside the Targon's Brace. So it's one of those things that, I mean, if they engage, not only is that extra cooldown reduction going to be there for Leona, she's going to be very difficult to kill, especially once the Eclipse has been put on. It makes it incredibly difficult to kill, and when you really think that maybe they could get an easy kill and then snowball from it, it's not going to happen this early on. I wonder what that's going to go to from that Glacial Shroud, whether it's going to be actually engaged.
Well, it's going on to Heilersang first as the Flame Chompers and more damage coming out from Vardags. They will be picking up the first kill. Makler should be falling to Vardags and might be able to 1v2 here. Libic realizes he's not going to be finishing off this trade and will be flashing over the wall. Vardags, can he follow? He will be flashing over, didn't land the zap. There's the double kill. Gets excited. And a 1-for-2 for the bot lane of Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, Vardags just purely taking advantage of the fact that Reason were focusing down Heilersang in that engage and used a lot to try and kill her. Solar Flare was used, didn't quite land. Well, did a lot of zoning there, but they used so much that Vardags picks up a couple of important kills, and that may very well have just put Vardags back in the game. It'll give him the ability to catch up in items now on Tristana, and we talked about it. They scale somewhat similarly. Tristana a little bit more heavily into the late game, but a Jinx is going to snowball it within fights a lot better because she's going to get the extra movement speed. Yes, Tristana gets the jump reset, but that's also a big part of her escape, whereas Jinx's kit, because she has no escape built into her kit, is going to just output a little bit more damage off some of those. When you get the reset, more attack speed, more damage, it's just going to do so well.
Lots of damage. That's the end of the story. That's the moral of the story.
That is the moral of the story.
So 3-2 in towers. Unicorns of Love are still ahead in terms of objectives, but are 1,000 gold behind. Dragon spawning in 5 seconds means that I looked at Take Fun and got confused. Reason Gaming will be going for that one first. And Unicorns of Love, I'm not even sure they want to contest it. They may be looking for a tower instead, but only now they're reacting to it, and this is very, very late. The Dragon will be falling before they can do anything. There it goes. Third Dragon of the game to Reason Gaming. Wall jump over from Zayu. Trying to get in range, but there's that teleport from Flaxis. That was seen by Reason. So if they just disengage, that's a Dragon and a teleport for free. Yeah,
but they got to be careful. Unicorns of Love don't just push through the mid. You could see that Reason were like, okay, we've got it. Let's go to different lanes. But look at this push on from Unicorns of Love. They know exactly what they got to do.
Oh, Shockwave onto Vardags, melts him instantly. Shutdown comes out for Jokeys, and Flaxis knocked off to the side. Meanwhile, Makler just went to town on Heilersang. Will be dropping him in a heartbeat. Now trying to follow after the rest of the team of Unicorns of Love. Jump over the wall by Makler, trying to land that Sonic Wave as well. The 1 versus 1. Power of Evil will not get the better of that trade. Makler trying to get after him. Zayu lands the Sonic Wave into the Resonating Strike, picks up that one. Flaxit now tries to get back to his turret. Will be jumping over the wall with a wall jump, but Lee Sin says, I can do that too. Will be following after, gets the double kill of the fight. Flaxit, where's the flash? And Sonic Wave Resonating Strike comes through. Will be tanking up the turret, waits for that. Leap strikes away. There's the command attack into the distance, gets the last kill, and that's the unofficial ace for Reason Gaming.
Yeah, man, that was a huge team fight for Reason Gaming, and that all stemmed from the fact that Vardag stepped forward towards an Orianna that had ultimate, and that, again, is the real downfall of Jinx. No escape means that you are easily killed at that situation. Didn't have flash available, so I mean, used the flash earlier aggressively over the wall, and Libic would have said that at the time. Would have said, Jinx, no flash. And from there, any situation you can kill Jinx in is a golden opportunity for Reason Gaming. And they just punished Unicorns of Love there. 5 kills, a dragon. Was that 2 turrets or was that 1? It was 2 turrets.
2 turrets.
Wow, that was a big, big swing of gold.
Yeah, they just ran them down, and that was probably the worst case scenario for Unicorns of Love, and they know it. They're going to go for the dragon. This is a desperation play if I've ever seen one. Zayu over the wall, already used his Q. They know he's there. They know the rest of the team could be there as well. They just don't know. They don't have the vision control at the moment, and they'll just disengage from the Barons. So not only did they not get anything in return, but they're just now falling behind. This is the first game we've seen a big goal differential open up.
Yeah, the problem for Unicorns of Love there was they were looking at the game state, and they thought all lanes are pushing in towards us. So, or well, kind of pushing in there a little bit before actual the turret. So it takes a while to go down there and clear them out. Not exactly the most opportune time to do it because you can get caught. No dragon available, no easy turrets. What's the only thing we can do right now that'll get us back in this game immediately? Baron. Haven't got the health to do it. They can't tank through it, so there's no chance they can do it before Reason actually are there to contest it. So Unicorns of Love were just in a situation of, what do we do? And they haven't got anything that they can do right now until lanes consistently start pushing in towards them.
Yeah, it was a lose-lose situation, and well, they lost. That's kind of it.
I'd have been surprised if they won off that.
8 and 15, 40,000 gold to 47,000, make that almost 48,000, and the Baron buff, so even more. Actually, no Baron buff. What am I even saying? The dragon went down. That's not a buff. Libic and Joe Keys in that jungle, trying to create. They've already choked the vision away from Unicorns of Love, so that's another advantage going to that team. Dan did throw out the volatile smiling, didn't find a target. And there's a solar flare out of nowhere. Hylasang do get followed up upon. Oh, the insect onto Vortex! Unbelievable play from Zayu. And that may just net them another tower, maybe even an inhibitor turret. In fact, no, they'll just back up towards the Baron.
Yeah, that's probably the best option for them now because that big snowball here from Vardags isn't going to be available to keep them in the fight. Oh, are they really going to bait them out for another?
They will indeed. Power of Evil's on the front lines and gets instantly detonated. Hylasang will also be dropping in the blink of an eye. Oh, Zayu has been on point with those last sonic waves into the resonating strike. 3 kills, no doubt the Baron.
Is it going to be the Baron or are they going to bait it again? They can do the Baron.
Yeah, they can.
It's just whether they turn around.
Yeah.
Because Dan's looking to get in to the Baron pit here. He's looking, or he was, isn't anymore. He's decided does not want any of that.
Yeah, giving up the ghost on that attempt. 18 to 8 now. Over really the last 5 minutes, Reason Gaming have accelerated the pace of this game. Baron buff now going up to them. 3 dragons, 1 Baron. In fact, all of the major objectives have been going their way throughout this entire game, and that has eventually caught up with Unicorns of Love. In the early game, it was like, well, they're losing a dragon here and there. They should be okay because they're picking up these kills. Flaxus was, rotating towards these fights, but it's going to catch up with you eventually, and now we're seeing it 28 minutes into the game.
So from here, Reason, in theory, have a fairly straightforward game plan. Libic peels for Makler to make sure that Jinx doesn't get it. To make sure that Jax doesn't get into the fight, and from there Makler cleans up. That pretty much is how this is going to go. Flaxish needs a good another 10 minutes to really get into this game. He's got his itemization, which should put him in the game, but they're just not getting the position in team fights. Vardags is dying too quickly, which means that he's not given an opportunity to just kind of wail away on his targets. With a dual kind of focus composition like this, where you have 2 big threats, you really need both to be alive, otherwise they can very easily get singled out. And if one dies and then the other joins the fight, it's very easy to kill them, and I have a feeling this is going to be a bit of an ambush bot lane if Vardags doesn't get himself moving.
Unicorns of Love, can they bite back? In the last couple minutes, where Reason Gaming continuously been picking up objectives, Unicorns of Love, I don't think we've actually seen them pick anything in return. We haven't seen a single kill, we haven't seen an objective. The only small thing they've gotten is like their own buffs from their jungles, but they haven't gotten anything in return, always been on the back foot. That's another dragon going towards Reason Gaming. And Unicorns of Love, they're biding their time, they're not going out of their way to make a play. And that's really causing them some issues. And give it another minute or two, and that might be the game.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of treading water when you're in a riptide.
Yeah.
It's like you are in an undercurrent that is taking you towards the end of the game. It's pretty difficult to get out of this from where you are without kind of at least moving parallel. You've got to make some movement here to try and get yourself out of the situation you're in. You can't stay in it, it'll just drag you under. So I don't know how Reason are going to do that, how Unicorns of Love are going to do that for me, because they haven't had any waves pushing out from their turret, so that it hasn't given them the opportunity to capitalize, and you can see how quickly Makler is just taking down that turret.
Unicorns of Love, the boat is sinking, and very, very rapidly. Reason Gaming will be taking the next objective. The flash forwards from Take Fun. There's the engage as well from the Solar Flare. Does not manage to connect the Xenoblade, but Zayu will be going through. Insects Vardax backwards this time and maybe caught out. Gets the zap. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb. Detonates 2 targets. Living just explodes as well. 3 and 0. A tower for that. Maybe not worth it. Makler taking out the fight. This could be the Unicorns of Love that we've been seeing over the last couple of days come back.
That was exactly what Unicorns of Love needed, and it was a big mistake out of Reason. They got the shockwave, they got the damage, they even got the tower. They should have been content with that and just continued on to the inhibitor, but they got over-aggressive. Zayu goes in, kicks Vardax into safety, and Vardax is like, okay, I'll just finish you off and then continue to move towards the rest of your team. So 3 kills. They're going to get a tower from this. Maybe where's the wave? Yes, they will get this tower because Jinx is going to burn through that. If they can catch Makler, they may get more from this, but I really don't think they should.
Oh, they take the tower. Makler thought for a second, maybe I can get the reset of High on the Side and go huge and take down as well, but they'll play it safe. They'll make sure that Zayu take Fun, and of course Libic will come back from the spawn pad and come back and siege again. So despite that, that was basically a 1-for-1 tower trade. 3 kills going to Unicorns of Love. But their play, we have to see if they change from here, because what they were doing is they were just sitting back waiting for Reason to make a mistake, which they did, and they capitalized on that. But it's very similar to the game we saw yesterday in LCS, where EG were behind and against TSM, and they sat there and they didn't really do anything. Usually they're the team who will go out of their way to make a play. In that case, they didn't. Unicorns of Love are always a team which will just sit back, wait for the opportunity, and capitalize on it. So will they carry on doing that?
I think they'll be lucky to get another mistake out of Reason. Reason is still significantly far ahead across all the lanes. You can see a Last Whisper up on the AD carry. Jinx right now, actually... Oh no, Last Whisper has been finished, but it's a Blade of the Ruined King that is the difference between the two of them, which is a pretty expensive item to have as a difference. So Reason are still far enough ahead that this should be a fairly easy game for them to close out, provided no more mistakes. But there's always that opportunity.
There is. Unicorns of Love. Well, we just saw it a couple seconds ago. They will capitalize on that all day if you make those mistakes. Zayu, that was actually the first time we saw him mess up a play, in fact, and that led to them losing the fight. So he is definitely a focal point of the team. Definitely pivotal for the success. Q over the wall. Halasang almost explodes instantly. Solar Flare comes down, does not catch him. The Black Shield was in time, but couldn't block all of that damage, and that may put him back to base. 4 members will not be able to defend this onslaught.
Well, I actually think they will. With the wave clear they've got, they can just clear this wave out for days. The bottom lane is going to push in, so they need somebody to stop that. Reason aren't fully committing to this for another 30 seconds. In 30 seconds time, you'll see them go. Once they've got ultimates up again, once Baron is about to spawn, that's their opportunity to go in, and they're just whittling down Unicorns of Love over and over and over again. And then Reason will engage. There's no real reason to get in there to actually engage, and you can see that Unicorns of Love are going to fall back. They're going to give the turret. Maybe here's the rotation out from... This is a strange time to back.
Zayu going back to base. Everyone else is as well, in fact. Interesting. So Baron's up in 30 seconds. That's probably what they're gearing up towards. And Dragon in a minute as well, which is a lesser objective at this stage. Yeah. But also something they would also like to have on another notch on their belt. But that's what they're going back for. Preparing for the next big fight.
It's actually a really good time to back. I actually thought it was a little bit closer to Baron time. I thought it was like 20 seconds left, and I was thinking, uh-oh, that's not good. You don't want to do that. But no, that they are going to be there in time for the Baron spawn. So that is the key point there. Now, Unicorns of Love just aren't even contesting this. Surely they have the timer. I mean, they now have jungle timers, so...
Yeah, I feel this was a conscious decision. Actually, I don't think they had vision of when it went down, actually. Because Dan didn't even touch it with the barge pole.
I guess jungle timers don't account for the approximately that you get from when you all die in a team fight. Yeah. So,
but either way, I think it was a conscious decision from Unicorns of Love to be like, nope. And we'll just sit into their base. No, that'll be the Dragon as well, going to Reason Gaming. objective after objective. But 5 dragons, 2 barons. Yet Unicorns of Love are still hanging on by the skin of their teeth. They are troopers to the end.
Yeah, just about right now. And it's all down to their wave clear.
Of which they have quite a lot of.
Yeah.
Mr. Fishbones combined with Ziggs, combined with Tormented Soil, means minions die pretty quickly. And now it gets to their base. That's kind of the breaking point. Can they get through those towers? That's the next big task ahead of Reason Gaming. But being 12,000 gold ahead, you would usually say in this type of game that they should be finishing anytime soon. But it's taken a while for them to get to this point, and I feel like it will take a while longer to break the shell.
Yeah, I think it will as well, and Reason are just playing this very slow, considering they just picked a Baron. I mean, you sometimes see teams with a little bit different compositions that have a bit more of a brute force approach, just go, okay, got Baron, go to the base. But Reason are playing this out because of their team composition. They really need that Shockwave combination.
Ooh. There's the Solar Flare.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, there's no one else there, but good Solar Flare. Did land on 2 people. Mackler, however, was in the bot lane, so it was just a distraction play, trying to distract them away from the bottom turret, which worked perfectly, and well, I guess that solves the problem they were having. How are they going to crack the base? Well, we'll just send Mackler to bot lane.
Yeah, and I saw Mackler actually go to push the wave, and I thought he was just going to shove. I didn't realize he was actually going to split push all the way to the inhibitor turret, but he kind of got there and nobody was there, and Flaxish got there far too late. I think he was preoccupied by the fact that Solar Flare had just been used, so it was one of those, I think they're engaging kind of moments in time, so...
It's kind of one of those moments where it's like, haha, you missed me. And like the shot goes, past his ear and hits the chandelier, and the chandelier comes down on top of him. That's kind of what happened. It's a weird analogy, but Reason Gaming are trying to push down this inhibitor. Got the wave clear, but that doesn't really matter anymore when you have that exposed inhib. It's open ground now for Reason Gaming if they want an engagement. But again, the split pushing with Joki is in the top lane. He has the teleport, but he needs to get into this fight. And Flaxish is also there. Levick trying to get in range. Will be taking a Dark Binding, eating that one. There's the Cocoon as well onto Zayo. There's so much zoning from Unicorns of Love. The area denial, and they've only really done a little bit of damage to that turret. Or that inhibitor, rather. Vardag has been stunned up. Zayu trying to get in range for the insect. Mikhails comes across. Halasang is getting ripped apart by Mackler. Will get shredded, but there's an instant cleanse away. Vardag is on the front line for some reason, but Zayu will be taken down. There's the repel coming out, and the shockwave combination drops Flaxes. This is now just everyone getting cleaned up by Reason Gaming. Mackler time has arrived, and Power of Evil jumps onto the spawn pad, still alive. 4 members drop for 1, and Power of Evil trying his damnedest to keep them in this game, but it's not going to happen. Reason Gaming run home with the first game of the finals day, the playoffs in this first semi-finals, the first game in this best of 3. Reason Gaming take down Unicorns of Love.
And again, it was all from Lee Sin, from Zayu. Caught Vardags as he stepped forward, gets in, even though Vardags had the reset, had flash available, still couldn't get far enough. They saved Dragon's Descent as well, disrupted Vardags, and couldn't get away. And that's the problem of Jinx. And that lane went so well. The Tristana-Leona lane, and we talked about it. If in lane you wait out the Black Shield, Leona is exceptionally good against Jinx. And it just got punished her time and time again.
Yeah. Reason Gaming honestly just had the perfect setup coming into that match. They had the Tristana. That was clearly their game plan to get into those team fights and have those resets come in with, enough damage to make it work. And that's exactly what happened. Everything went according to plan. Reason Gaming also had just superior objective control. We saw every objective in the forms of Barons, in the form of Dragons, all going to Reason Gaming. Is that something that Unicorns of Love are going to have to pay more attention to? Because it's not like Flaxish was playing like a typical top laner where he just sit there all day. He was moving to those objectives. They just never picked them up.
It's kind of interesting because Unicorns of Love are a team that have been pretty decent with their objective control. That just Reason just outplayed them that game. Every single objective, they got the picks, they got engages, they took everything they needed to secure all of the objectives. And a team that does that is very difficult to play against because not only from that do you get further behind on gold, it gives their map control very easy positions to set up pink wards, set up their own wards, deny vision. So from there, you kind of are suffocated by a team because every time you try and move out for an objective that you know is coming up, you lose a man, you lose the objective, and you lose the map.
Okay, guys, that was the first game of this best of 3. This is, of course, the first semi-finals we have today. That will also have the second semi-finals coming up later today, and, of course, the grand finals at the very end. So, without further ado, we will jump to a quick break, and when we get back, we'll be in the second game of this best of 3. We'll see you soon.